Lots of new information regarding Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's new December patch actually just dropped as it was being shown at Barcelona's manga convention. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, they actually have a small section of it you could play at the Bandai Namco stage section, and that had lots of new stuff. Now we're going to go over things really quickly. You can see that that's a new version number right there. This is Gogeta with a new lighting system because, again, Gogeta just had kind of the same color scheme as DBS Gogeta, but now he's a lot lighter to reflect how he actually looks in the movie. And then we also have split screen on all maps available. You can tell this is split screen because you can literally see it. So don't ask, Steedoj, are you sure it's split screen? You can see it. And then the last image is that we can actually see that the skill system has been updated. When you're picking characters now, you can see the changes in their skills, how much ki it takes, and how much skill counter this takes. And if you see the armor here, you can see that this is Bardock. They actually made it take more skill counter for him to use his OP broken move, the one that gives him explosive wave and instant sparking at the same time. So there's actually nerfs and buffs in this. We'll get to the buffs and nerfs section. We'll get to all of them in a bit. But for now, I wanted to talk about the small gameplay improvements, including how transformation slots actually work now for characters. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedoj here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And this time on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we are just going to be talking about, again, all the new updates, so let's get into it. Now, before I get too far into this, actually, I wanted to mention all of the updates, like all of the things that are going to be in the December update, are not in this, okay? I just want to let that be known. This is a stage demo where not everything is finished yet. There'll be more things that they are doing, and then when the demo or the update actually goes live, we'll get a full patch notes guaranteed of everything that got changed. A good example is that After Image Strike, that didn't get changed at all. But instant sparking skills got changed. However, there is a rumor that when you are using skills like After Image Strike or when you are in sparking mode, your skill counter does not regenerate. It doesn't grow back. It doesn't try and add more skill counter while you're using instant sparking modes or while you're in After Image Strike, right? The game will now recognize that, hey, this guy's using the skill, so we're going to make sure that, he doesn't gain more skill counter back so he can just use it again immediately after it's done, So that's a cool change. But we'll get onto the buffs and nerfs and everything else in a bit. I want to talk about the overall gameplay improvements first because I think that's truly where this is going to shine for most people. Now you can see here, Frieza's icon actually shows that when you click on Frieza, there is a separate tab that comes up that shows you all of his transformations. And I think this is a pretty cool feature because this is how it actually was like in Tenkaichi 3. You didn't see all of the transformations for the characters on the roster at the same time. You would just see only the first form of the character. Then when you clicked on the icon, it would show you, the rest of the forms. I do believe that Raging Blast 2 also did this, but I don't remember Raging Blast 2 as clearly. So I think this is really cool. This makes the character selection screen a lot easier to go through. There's not like several different forms of Goku and Vegeta. You have to sift through just to find the one that you're looking for. I think this makes things a lot easier to go through because the character screen is ordered in a pretty weird way to begin with. So this is nice to see. And now the next thing I wanted to talk about is how if Gogeta could get his model updated, there's probably a lot of character models that got updated. So if there's any character models that you saw that may have had any potential bugs or glitches to him, or something that wasn't really anime accurate, for example, Super Saiyan Trunks' hair, DBS Super Saiyan Trunks in particular, his hair is not the right hair for being a Super Saiyan Rage. It's only the correct hair for if he was like Super Saiyan 1 or 2. So they may have changed that too, but we don't know yet. Let me know what other changes you think they may have done, or other characters that that have visual issues that would need like addressing or patching or fixing or whatever in the comment section. Split screen being on all maps is pretty great. Again, this doesn't confirm that it's on all maps, I want to say. This confirms it's on World Tournament as well, which is also a map that doesn't have too much visual demands to it. I don't know if it's going to be on all the maps, but this is another map added to split screen, which is great to see because it can't just be the really bright hyperbolic time chamber every time. That's like, sometimes you want a map with a different color scheme, sometimes you want something a bit darker, sometimes you just want to mix up the atmosphere every now and then while you're playing with, your friends and family. So I do appreciate that we can actually play on more stages now. However, I hope World Tournament isn't the only stage, but if it is the only stage, at least, and I know if you're a Sonic fan, you're probably tired of hearing this, at least it's a step in the right direction, because all you need are some steps in the right direction to make it to the top of the staircase, and then mission solved, right? So this is a step in the right direction. I'm actually glad to see this, even if it might not be every stage. And then lastly, we will move on to the buffs and nerfs. We'll be starting with this. Bardock skill, which was very annoying, got up to a 5 skill counter skill. I still think, and this might be a wild take for me to say, I still think this might be like, they should have like made it a 6 if I'm being real. Because Bardock gets an explosive wave, which guaranteed gets any attack off of him, and then he also gets an instant spark. And if timed right, and by timed right I mean pretty much any time Bardock did it, he could do this skill only and then hit you with his ultimate attack before you even recover from the knockback of his explosive wave, which is insane. It was like ludicrously broken. However, it being changed to be a 5 skill counter skill doesn't mean that there's actually a higher chance of you killing Bardock before he ever even reaches the amount of skill counter needed to use this. Again, that's the main issue of like most instant spark skills. When you're beating up a character, they gain more meter. So Obviously, if you're doing really well and you're kicking a Bardock's ass, or a Kefla, or any of the, Broly, any of the characters that you see people always rely on this stuff with, right? It means that it'll be harder for them to actually use an instant spark, like at one point in the fight. Usually before, no matter what guaranteed, doesn't matter how clean you were at killing Bardock or taking him out, he would always have enough skill counter to do this, and you would always have to fight sparking mode Bardock once every time. So long as there was a Bardock, you will have to fight him in sparking mode at one point. But this changes it. Now there's a good chance you might be able to even blitz Bardock or temper him out of the fight over time, because you'll be using a skill counter to use like perceptions and revenge counters and super perceptions and all these other things that might require a skill counter. Right? Bardock's not going to just let you beat him up while he gets no skill counter back, so that's actually cool to see. I'm actually glad to see that his thing got changed to be higher cost. And it's not just him that got affected. Every instant sparking skill now it takes 1 extra skill counter to use. Now I do think that these should all be 5 as well, but 4 is a good number because it means characters like the whole Ginyu Force, for example, won't be able to just all use sparking mode on you because they all have enough health to make it to 3 skill counter, right? Characters like Guldo, they don't have enough health to make it to 4 skill counter. They can actually go down. Even characters like Jason, Berta, and Ginyu, not Raccoon. Raccoon is too tanky. But this doesn't mean there's a good chance you can take out Jai's Berta and Ginyu without too much difficulty, so this is actually really cool to see. False Courage now also costs 1 more skill count. This is obviously to prevent Android players from just using False Courage and turning their brains off and just like not thinking at all. Because before, they would use False Courage, 1 skill counter, and then that would be it, right? They could just keep using False Courage the whole fight carelessly with like no thought. But now since it costs 2 skill counter, there's a chance that it might not be up and ready when they need it. And I think that's a pretty good change. Before I go any further, I do want to say this comes to us from Dr. Love. He does say that there are more patch notes and things on the way, but for now, they are not out yet. Again, when this update goes fully live, we'll know absolutely everything. For now, it's just what we have here on this page and further on. So, yeah, moving on to the buffs. Saiyan Spirit costs 1 less skill count. Now, Saiyan Spirit is not to be confused with the ultimate attack from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Saiyan Spirit is actually this move that Bardock has here. Saiyan Spirit, suspiciously enough, was something that cost 3 skill counter for a lot of characters. Even though it wasn't an instant sparking move, it was just a regular buff. I don't think a lot of normal buffs should be 3 skill counters. That's really, really weird. So I'm not sure if it's only Saiyan Spirit or if it's everything that's just a buff that gives you... Like, buffs that are 3 skill counters are kind of absurd. You're asking a lot of skill counter for me to do like 15% more damage with like Ki Blasts or basic attack. And that's if I can even get the chance to use it, because the buffs usually only last like 15 seconds. Other news is that After Image Strike still costs 3 skill counts, pretty terrifying, and there's still no word on Ki Sickness. That is a mechanic to obviously stop people from spamming Ki Blast, and obviously to make Ki be a more punishable act in Sparking Zero, because you get a lot of people just abusing it. So yeah, that is pretty cool. And again, nothing I want to say. I know I'm stressing it a lot, but the characters that people had to play here was definitely not every character in the game. There are many things that could have been changed, right? They could have updated the character's super attack. They could have made it so that Kaioken Blue lasts longer. They could have made it so that explosive waves all like travel slower, so that way they don't expand instantly and just cheese you to death. You know, they might have even fixed a few moves that might have been too unreasonable as unblockable ultimate attacks. Like Full Power Jiren, I love him, but his ultimate being unblockable, kind of crazy because he does obscene damage. But you know, it is what it is. And obviously there are more changes on the way, but this is all the info that he has for now. Again, many other people still have a lot of things on that, so you're just gonna have to wait and see. You even have people saying that they heard After Image Strike got nerfed to 5 skill counts instead of 3. But as you can see here, this is GT Goku. We know he has After Image Strike. So you can see the word image right there. It says 3. It doesn't say 5, it says 3. As a reminder, Bardock's one actually does say 5 on his Rebellion skill. So yeah. After Image Strike has not been nerfed yet, to our knowledge. Sources, yeah, and the sources are, yeah, he literally went there to play it. You can see here, this is a False Courage skill, takes 2 skill count, and this is a Max Power skill, 4 skill count. And then obviously if you compare to before, used to be 1 and 3. And then if you compare what Bardock has now, which is a 5 and a 2, it used to be a 4 and a 3. Because, you know, Bardock was just crazy, to say the least. So, can't wait to see more when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's buffs and nerfs. For now, this is all we have. Hopefully, we'll see more things in the future. Again, don't forget the whole feature of being able to spam dashes up and down, like you've been seeing in the Sparking Zero tournaments, where characters would just keep doing that the whole time and they were like Android characters. That was really annoying. Bandai Namco surely has nerfed that too, but no one has actually tested it yet, or maybe it's not in this exact version that you can play at these booths here, so no one would actually know, etc, etc. There's many things that can still be nerfed, fixed, patched, etc. So I'm still waiting to see how it goes, and for now I think this is a good place to end the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, and obviously again, please let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and that'll be it. I love you all, I hope you enjoyed, and let's hope that Sparking Zero can have a much healthier gameplay experience from now on. Take care and peace.